Hello and welcome to Hey, I Loved That Movie, the podcast where we rewatch the films we loved when we were younger to see if they still hold up. I'm Dan,
I'm Michael.
And I'm Helena.
and for today's episode we watched The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe.
Could we redo the introduction and instead be like, I'm Susan, I'm Edmund, and I'm Lucy?
I don't remember any of their names, so no.
Okay. Clearly this
Not
had
at
more of
all.
an impact on my childhood than yours.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I wrote down all the names and things. What was all you guys' history with this movie then?
I feel. Do you want me to go? I feel like Helena's is going to be a bit long.
Well, you start.
Okay. I saw it once when I was like a teenager.
Okay.
That's about it. I didn't really watch it much as a kid. This passed me by.
I'm pretty sure I saw this in cinema and then quite a few times on TV after. But I was definitely, when I was thinking about, like the clips that were in my head of the film, definitely thinking about the older version. Like
There's
the
an older
original
version?
Yeah, and it's
Okay.
it's old and bad from what I remember. Whereas
I
this one
mean-
is
Yeah, isn't there like an old TV version from like the 80s or something?
yeah, it might be TV. I don't know. I can't remember. But I remember when this film was like playing. I was like, wow, this is actually really high definition. Oh, yeah, it's new. I remembered
Yeah.
very specific bits of this film, and then forgot so much of it, like the war trauma at the start.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
surprised.
I don't blame you for forgetting most
That was
of it.
quite
It's fucking
upsetting.
long.
Like the
Yeah,
start was horrible.
Quite surprised it started with.
Their house blowing up
Yeah.
in the Blitz.
Yeah. I got memories of learning about the Blitz in school. Because, British schools go fucking hard during primary school on the Blitz.
Yeah, I
Right,
definitely
yeah.
learned about the Blitz in primary school and a bit in secondary school. And I didn't even do
But-
history for GCSE.
No.
I
But
actually
my
did I tell you about the time I auditioned to be on a TV show about evacuees?
No. No, and now I really want to know, and can we find it?
Was it called The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe?
It was. I think it was just called evacuation or evacuees or something. It was
Yeah.
on CB. It was a CBBC program, and they had an open or not an open audition, but an open if you want to take part, send in print out this thing, fill it in, and send it to us at the BBC studios. And we did, and I got an audition. And
Cool.
my mum was like, "Now, Helena, why do you want to be on this show?" And I was just like, "Well, I just think it'd be fun to be on TV and whatever." And Mum was like, "No, you want to do this because you're interested in the history of evacuation and what happened to those children." I was like, "Oh, okay." So obviously, the audition went really badly. My mum insisted that I dress like an evacuee.
I imagine that went down well.
Of course.
And because it's my mum, she of course had a random antique little suitcase thing for me to take, and various other little bits and bobs that an evacuee child could potentially have with them. And she made I didn't go into the
And then she left you there.
you have to take it now.
Yeah.
It was only, to be fair, it was only Camden. I probably could have got my own way home.
She dropped you outside the train station, method.
Like, goodbye. And then you just walk in like, oh, my little evacuee.
Oh, a
Oh,
little evacuee from London and my home's been exploded.
it's all gone. Can I live with some old people in a
I
mansion?
want to go
now?"
to a farm. But the TV show, they didn't want weirdly enthusiastic about history nerd kids. They wanted drama and kids being like, "Oh my god, I don't want to work on a farm. That's so boring. I want to play Xbox." And I knew that even at 10, I knew that, and I knew that that's what. And my mum was like, "Well, that your dignity is more important than you being on this show."
Yeah.
So yeah, shockingly, I didn't get it. Didn't
You didn't get the part. Wow. I think I watched that show as well. I think I remember that show.
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting.
See, that's why you wouldn't have made a good part. Because, I'm going to be honest with you, Helena, it would have made boring TV. And there's nothing on you.
Yeah, I was just too willing and eager and a bit of a swat.
Cared too much about the I'm getting Are there many kids' TV shows about the Blitz now on TV?
I don't. No, to be honest,
no, I
Mikey,
think
not going to
so.
lie, don't watch a lot of kids' TV.
Yeah, but you might have
Sort
No.
of
some
Bluey
you
with
do,
my
but you
niece,
might
and that is
know-
it.
Yeah, I don't think there's a Peppa Pig episode where she's got to go in a bomb shelter.
But I distinctly remember when we were when I was a kid anyway, that there was just a shit ton of Blitz TV shows.
Well,
and
was the Railway Children, were they Blitz kids? Were they
World War II.
World
But just
War
like
II evacuees?
information-y kind of TV shows about World War II as well.
I mean, there were
Yeah.
loads of those. Remember, like, you got, oh, wow, you're sick and you get to stay home from school. I hope there's something good on TV. Oh, it's the education.
Yep.
It's
Channel
the,
about World War
the
II.
education episodes on CBBC.
Yeah.
All I'm thinking of is like not TV shows, but in Coventry where I'm from, there's like the Transport Museum, and for some reason they had like a really big Blitz bit, and like it's
Yeah,
moved to a
because
new
Coventry
area
got
now.
bombed to
But
absolute
yeah,
shit.
Coventry got
That's
bombed
fair.
to fuck. But I remember like the first few times I went in there, I found it too scary, so I had to go around the little side door and avoid it.
No, it's just as well you weren't a little Blitz kid, you'd be fucked. You're not half as brave as these kids in
Exactly.
The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe.
No,
Stupid.
exactly.
Not brave,
I've got a
stupid.
fun little story about the first time I saw this as well.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you know how it's really fucking long?
Yeah.
It's even longer when you're in the cinema and the reel breaks halfway through, and then you have to go into another screening 40 minutes behind.
Wow.
I went with my brother and my nana, and yeah, we were just in there, and I think it's like the bit where they're at the waterfall.
Drama.
And like the reel broke, and we had to go into a different screening that started about 40 minutes later. So
That's a pretty scary scene as well. Like, that's a literal cliffhanger.
yeah. And then you have to build back up to it again. You know? Like, what's going to happen?
Oh, wait, no, you had to watch the film from the start at in the other cinema screening.
Yeah, it was a bit further through.
40 minutes
We might
back.
have been further through and had to go back to that point, or I think it was that point that the reel broke, and then we had to go and watch it from whenever it was. 'Cause that's
40
probably
minutes
like an
back.
hour in.
Yeah.
It's a fucking long movie.
But
But yeah, that was my first experience. I've seen it a couple of times since then, but I did really enjoy it. Like,
I love
When
this
it came out.
film. I think it's very sweet. And it's only slightly messed up in parts, but most of it is okay.
I mean, it's
For a
very
very, very religious film, considering how we felt about whatchamacallit, not Troy, the other one,
the
Prince of Egypt,
yeah,
yeah.
Prince of Egypt.
which we abhorred. Not you, Mikey, but Dan and I. But this one, yeah, I don't know. The fact that Jesus is a lion and that everything's fine.
It's somehow both covertly and overtly Christian.
Oh, it's not. There's nothing covert about it. Like the
No,
it's-
but there are like it's somehow got Christian overtones and Christian undertones.
yes,
This is weird.
it's more like
it somehow does both.
like the story of Christian ethics and beliefs and everything, and the story of Christ is kind of there, and then there's like this little film of, but what if animals
But what if Jesus was a lion?
and
Which is a
and
question.
the
What if-
devil
and
was
Liam
icy?
Neeson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally forgot that it's Liam Neeson.
And Liam Neeson. Yeah.
Yeah, hell, like a real good cast in this. We get James McAvoy as Mr. Tumnus. I think this is the first thing I ever saw
Yeah,
him.
Hot as
same.
fuck.
Oh, he's so
wildly
cute.
hot.
He's so
Wildly.
hot. I want to tickle his little tail.
Yeah, that too, but like,
Okay.
don't worry.
And Tilda Swinton.
Tilda Swinton as the witch.
Yes, the titular witch
Very cool. And then
from the movie.
a load of shit actors to play the kids.
Yes.
Awful acting. Terrible. Everyone else in this great. The kids are shit actors. Right? That's not just me. They're bad.
Yeah,
They're better than the ones that are in the 1988 version.
I imagine they are. But that doesn't make them good actors. We've seen good child actors, and
exactly.
we know
they
they
were in that
exist.
evacuation TV
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, actually, the twist is all those kids were actors and they were all really posh and really enthusiastic about history, but playing.
Yeah, you just didn't play the part right.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they're bad at acting. Those kids and
Turkish
Oh, jeez.
delight. Oh, I love Turkish delight. Kill my family
I'm
for
gonna-
Turkish delight.
yeah,
I'm going to have a hot chocolate and a Turkish
We'll-
delight,
we'll
and you
get
can have
to-
my sisters and my brother.
We'll get to Turkish Delight when it fucking comes up, but we should go through the story because
Yes.
we should speed through it. We can skip a lot because this is a 2.5 hour movie.
A kid's house gets blown up.
Yeah, two and a half hour kids movie as well. Like,
Yep. We start with the Blitz.
Yeah.
We start with, but also overtly and covertly Christian 2.5 hour kids movie.
That starts with the Blitz.
That starts with the Blitz. A little idiot child runs back in to goes, "Oh, Dad, Father," and runs back in and grabs a photo.
It's a painting. It's not not a painting. It's a photo. It's not even his actual dad. What an idiot! Sets him up to be an idiot for the rest of the film.
Yeah, makes shit decisions is the first one we learn about that child. About Edbert.
Edmund.
Edmund. Yeah.
That's the only one I remember, by the way, and didn't even get that
Peter,
right.
Susan, Edmund, and Lucy.
Cool. No idea who's who. Let's go.
I mean, you don't recognise these
Sorry.
really famous actors that have been in
Yeah,
lots
yeah,
of other things.
They all did really. Yeah, and I remember them from the second Narnia movie.
And the third
Caspian.
Narnia.
No, I actually saw we might as well. I'm going to still say in the story as well because the story is frankly not like it can be pretty dry. The reason that I was thinking I wouldn't enjoy this film much, and I went in a bit hesitantly, is that I'm not remembering this film. I'm remembering the second two. There's a reason that the Chronicles of Narnia, the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is the favourite story in the Chronicles of Narnia. The others are terrible. They're just not as good. They're just not very good stories.
I will also say that this one was directed by the director of award-winning films such as Shrek and Shrek 2.
Fantastic.
So it has a caliber, this movie, and it is directed really well. And weirdly enough, when you find out it was directed by the guy that directed Shreks, you can see it. You can fully start seeing it. There's weird little things he does that are very Shrek.
He didn't. Yeah, he also did. He did the other ones, not just Shrek and Shrek 2, but all of most of the Shreks.
Yeah, but the other ones didn't win awards.
True.
And much like, turns out he also has the director has. If he directed the other Narnias, he has a thing for doing a couple good, and then just trash, and then just trash.
I mean, if he was going by the Shrek logic, though, the second one would be better, but nope.
No. Oh,
Prince
to be
Caspian.
fair,
I remember everyone thought Prince Caspian was well fit at school.
Sure, not. He's
Yeah,
no
everyone
Mr.
still
Tumnus.
thinks he does because it's Ben Barnes.
He's no Mr. Tumnus.
He's no the man from Wanted.
to be fair, with the director, you say he was better with Shrek 2. The second half of this film is better than the first half, and that's about a Shrek length.
Yeah. This film is two Shreks, I guess.
He got an hour or so in and then got better. That's following exactly the Shrek length.
So they get sent off to a guy who is only known as the Professor.
Yep.
And he lives in the middle of fucking nowhere because then he's not going to get bombed by the
you're not going to bomb one house. What's the point?
Yep. I mean,
Yeah,
that was the Blitz. Kids from inner London were sent to the countryside.
And lots were used as forced labour in farms. But some, like my granny, were sent to nice manors and spoiled rotten and totally resented having to go home afterwards.
Oh, wow. Wow, imagine being that kid.
No, I think she was happy to see her parents, but also I remember being she insisted on taking her doll's house that they'd given her home with her dad on her dad's motorbike in the sidecar.
She's like, you can come back for me later. Take the house.
Take the house.
Yeah.
So yeah, they get sent to a weird house, giant mansion.
No other kids.
No other kids. The strictest house. What are they called? Housekeeper.
I was about to say Mrs. Beaver. That's not the character's name. That's the character from the...
Yeah.
That's the character later on that's a beaver.
I don't know why she's so fucking stressed, this housekeeper.
Mrs. McCready.
Yeah. There's no one else in the house.
Yeah, how bad can it actually be?
Yeah,
and the professor's just tucked away in a room all the time, probably shrinking kids or something.
She's just upset she has to do any fucking work.
Have you seen what else she's been in?
No.
Some of your favourite stuff.
Is it Shrek and Shrek 2?
No, she was in Underworld: Rise of the Lycans.
Nah, great. She's a good
and
actress.
30 Days of Night. So maybe that's why
Nothing.
she's.
Nothing
maybe
is,
that's
yeah.
why. Cause maybe she can only really do scared Scottish lady.
Yeah, she just distressed and angry. But yeah, she has
To be
nothing
fair,
to
this
be.
could be a horror film.
To her, it could
Yeah.
be. Loads
Yeah.
of kids turn up stuff.
Especially if the kids actually disappeared for as long as they're awake.
Well,
No.
that's not a horror story. That's just sad.
To be fair, when they disappear for long periods of time, I imagine she's quite stressed. But when they just turn up and she's like, "Don't fucking touch anything," you just
Yeah,
don't want
she's
to do
just
your
setting
job.
the tone. It's pretty bad, isn't it? Like, come on,
Just
these
don't
kids have
wanna-
literally just been exploded. They could have a bit of,
Have
affection.
a bit of sympathy.
And where do
So,
they
yeah.
find that comfort and sympathy? In the cold, icy hands of Tilda Swinton.
So yeah, they find the ward. They find the titular
The
The
wardrobe.
youngest one,
Yes,
Lucy,
the titular wardrobe. They're playing hide and
and
seek.
Lucy goes into the fuck off massive wardrobe,
The titular
the
wardrobe.
titular wardrobe, and behind loads and loads of coats is snow. What?
Yeah,
And
what?
trees.
And
Huh?
land.
And a
and
lamp.
a
And a lamppost.
sexy fawn.
And a fucking hot
And a hot piece of ass.
and a hot goat boy.
Not goat boy,
Is
he's
he
a
technically like half twink or
No, he's all
Or
twink, half human, half goat, all twink.
half? Is it otter?
Also, no, James McAvoy's definitely a twunk, but like we're splitting hairs at this point.
so he's
Yeah,
a
about
fawn,
midway.
isn't he?
The hairs are at the bottom.
So he's half deer?
half goat,
Sheep.
half deer, something like
Yeah,
that.
half goat, half. I mean, let's not get into the folklore accurate fawn because they're fucked up, and do not fit into a very Christian movie. Does anyone know the? You don't want to know the actual like story of
Yeah, I feel like it doesn't end well for Lucy.
satyrs
in that,
and fawns.
No. But Mr. Thomas is nice, and he invites Lucy in for tea and toast, and she has a nap. And
Well, he
And
invites her
he's
into tea and
apparently
toast and
having
then drugs her.
Yeah,
Essentially,
and she sees
with
fire
with
going all
with
weird.
scary
It-
sleep music.
That's a very satyr fawn story. That bit's right.
Hmm.
But
Cloven
yeah,
Hooves,
because
you know he's up to no good.
Yep.
Got them
He
devil
plays-
feet.
yeah, he plays the thing. The fire gets angry, and then he's like, "I've fucked up."
Yeah,
Actually, no.
she comes to, and she's like, "Oh shit, it's late. I better get back." And he's like, "Oh well,
Yeah.
actually,
Actually,
you
I've
can't.
fucked up.
I've kidnapped you." And she's like,
I've
"But you're
fucked
so nice." And he's like,
Uh,
"Yeah, I feel bad about it." And it's like, "Well, that's not really enough, is it? At this point."
My favorite.
Yeah, he's supposed to turn them over to the White
Yeah,
Witch,
because they're
but
humans.
instead he just has a bit of a mental breakdown.
And the,
Yeah, they're humans from the prophecy.
Yeah, there's a prophecy
The-
about
which-
2 girls and 2 boys, or 2 sons of Eve, sons of Adam and
Two-
daughters of Eve, and they'll
'Cause-
take down the White Witch and bring back Christmas or something.
Yep. Because that's how like children work as well. You get sons of the dad, sons of the men, and daughters of the women. That's how it works, right?
Yeah.
But it took me a second to get, and he said, "Oh, you're a daughter of, a child of Adam," and it was like it took me a second to realize what that was a reference to,
Oh man,
and then I remembered.
so out of
the
touch with
overt-
your biblical references.
No, then I remembered the overt Christianness of this
Mhm.
film, and I was like, "Ah, yeah, no, there it is."
Yeah, well, Such a Big Deal
Uh.
is also made out of Christmas, which is like, well, so did they have Christ? Is Aslan
Yeah.
new Christ? Or...
No, it's Aslanmus. It's Aslanmus.
Well, no, but like Santa's in his red costume, so they've also got Coca-Cola.
They've also got Coca-Cola.
I mean, yeah, the White Witch made it very clear that she could make anything, so she probably at parties is dishing out all the Coca-Cola.
Yeah. But can we? I just want one scene about that Tomness scene.
Mhm.
There's a bit right at the beginning. It really caught me off guard, and it was really funny. Lucy, the child.
Mhm.
Yes, Lucy.
Child looks at a picture of another fawn and goes, "Wow, is that you?" And he goes, "No, that's my dad." And Lucy's like, "You look exactly the same." And Mr. Tumnus, under his breath, goes, "No, we don't. I look nothing like him." Which, I guess, is meant to be my my father's really honourable and I'm not. But
Yeah.
for me, it was like she just went, "Wow, you look the same as this other fawn." And Tumnus, under his breath, went, "That's fucking racist."
What a bitch.
Yeah, she's just species racist.
She's like, "No, I don't."
Actually, all fawns look very different.
Yeah,
Fuck do you know?
that's what it caught me. Yeah, that was really funny. No, maybe intentionally. I don't know the creator. But yeah, that was my favorite part of that scene, and I was thinking about that for the rest of the movie. That Mr. Tonks is there, just being like a little bit racist, actually.
Well, that's quite Christian, so
Yeah.
just gently.
Yeah. But yeah, no, he wakes up. She wakes up. He's like, oh, I've fucked up. And she's like, actually, why don't you you're nice, just take me home. You don't have to hand me over. And he's like, I don't.
Just go home for a bit, and as long as no one works out how to get back into this wardrobe through a forest, we'll be fine.
We'll be fine. So they do. She goes back home.
And no time has passed. Her husband, her brother, is still counting. Because it's hide and seek, you can hear him counting, and he only just gets to, like, here I come, as she gets back in the wardrobe, and she runs out like, I'm here, and they're like, you are literally shit at hide and seek.
Yeah.
You are the fucking worst at this game.
Like, this is not
Do you
fun.
know what else she's shit at? Do you know what else she's shit at?
What?
Fire safety. Because after this, at night, she decides to go back into this wardrobe full of fur coats, and she takes a fucking candle with her. She's like, I'm gonna have a look in here.
Yeah, just leave the door open.
But this time, when they don't believe her because she's not been gone.
Obviously.
And then at night, she tries to sneak back in, and Edmund sneakily follows her.
Yeah.
Edmund's the little cunt kid. By
Yeah,
the
he's
way.
the order is it? Yeah, Peter's the oldest. Then there's Susan. Then Edmund, and then Lucy's the youngest. And there's a few years between all of them. So Susan's pretty old. Like, what? She must be 15, I think.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
And then
Peter's 16, she's 15, and then it's like 13 and 10.
No, I think she's younger than that. She's younger than 10.
Yeah, she's probably around 8 or so.
Well, she's still playing like a lot of make believe and stuff. So I thought she was more like the 5, 6.
Maybe even 6.
Actually, we find out she's not playing me.
Well, okay.
Like God knows what she's
So-
talking about.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, she's 8 to 23
Eight.
in The
Okay.
Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and
Yeah, 23 because somehow, spoilers, but they somehow forget they're in a fucking wardrobe and stay there for ages.
So Ed Prick.
So yeah, Edmund follows Lucy in, but she's obviously not there when he gets into Narnia because time works differently in Narnia, and instead he bumps into the titular witch, Tilda Swinton,
Which is, by the way,
the
just
White Witch.
the Feywild.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is just the Feywild, Christianed up.
Yeah, Christine Feywild, except on the outside, on the wardrobe, how you get in, there's just drawings of what's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's all carved into the wardrobe.
ooh, and you'll never guess what,
Ooh.
that wardrobe is actually made of a tree from Narnia.
Wow.
Yeah, sick Narnia
Fascinating.
fact.
How did they?
Yeah,
How did they
fascinating.
get it?
Oh my god, guys!
know.
It's like you haven't seen the rest of the
Get to
films. There's not just one
No.
way to get into Narnia.
No, the only bit I remember from the second one is that they're waiting for a tube on the London Underground and instead end up in Narnia for some reason.
Yeah, and I think in the Voyage of the Dawn Treader, isn't it like a painting? They get into Narnia through a painting.
I don't think I've seen
It's
that
not
one.
great.
So we find the titular witch.
And she's like,
Yes.
"Hey, boy." Well, actually, her little gremlin is like, "I'm gonna kill you for getting in our way, you
I'll
prick.
fucking
How
kill
dare
you."
you get in? How fucking dare you get in the way of the queen?" And he's like,
I love
"Well,
how-
to be fair, I didn't mean to." And she's
And then he's like, how dare you talk to the fucking queen? I love how utterly hostile everything the queen has on her side is.
yes,
Like, everything is immediately wants to kill anything.
I mean, to be fair, he does sound like an actual royalist, so...
Yeah, that's true. But
yeah,
he-
she gets
so,
all
yeah,
the she gets all the like monsters and nasty animals.
and wolves. Like,
And
why
wolves,
are wolves
and like
demonized?
and polar bears who are pretty cute, and also
No,
cheetahs.
fuck polar bears. They're
Don't
terrifying.
fuck polar bears.
Don't. I mean, you can try. Go ahead, try. It's not going to go well.
But like, so what's more ferocious, a polar bear or a lion?
A polar bear.
Yeah.
Polar bear would kill a lion in a second. Maybe not a Jesus lion, but like, no, a polar bear
Depends
would
what-
royally fuck up a lion.
Yeah, especially not if there's that handy loophole.
Yeah, polar bears are fucking huge
Yeah,
as well. Like
massive. They're
you
also
don't
their skin
know
is like
just how big they are.
bulletproof.
Yeah.
Like you can.
They do look like you just want to go up to them and just be like,
Yeah.
"Who's a good boy?" and give them a good fuss.
You can shoot a polar
Same
bear and
with
it
tigers
won't
and-
go down. Like, it will not.
Yeah.
They're the only species on the planet that hunts humans for sport.
Oh dear.
They don't eat people, but they'll kill them.
I thought you were going to say they're the only ones that are bulletproof, and I was going to say, but what about the 30 to 50 wild hogs?
And hippos. Hippos are bulletproof. And LaRue. LaRue is also bulletproof.
Polar bears, hippos, and LaRue.
LaRue. And only 40 to 50 wild hogs.
I'd watch that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the soundtrack will
but
be good.
instead...
Yeah. It's just mid-2000s, like, synth pop.
Nah, it's just pitch perfect soundtrack.
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So
Edmund gets all caught up because the witch is like, I'm gonna... What do you want? I'll give it to you if you give me your family. And he's like, hot chocolate, Turkish delight.
well, he doesn't
No,
ask for the hot
she's
chocolate.
all like, oh, well, we need strong
It's cold.
rulers, and rulers need servants. And she's like, I'll make you king and make your family servants if you tell me where they are and bring them
and
to
she's
me.
like, I can get you anything you want, and then makes hot chocolate.
Yeah.
And
And then he's like, can I have Turkish delight? Which, I mean, for us probably doesn't sound like a big deal, but I imagine, like, if your house got blitzed...
Yeah, you've been living in rationing
You're not
for quite
really
a while.
gonna-
Like Turkish
What
delight's probably
Yeah.
pretty sweet, literally.
what is
Also, yeah.
funny is the Queen's reaction, the Ice Queen's reaction, genuine shock.
Did
She's
it
like,
inspire
She's
any of
like,
you guys to
"You sure
try
don't want-"
Turkish delight?
yeah.
No, I've had the ones from Down to Shop, which has just got covered in chocolate. I've never tried it on its own.
Well,
So
it's like
It's like jelly.
it's shit.
It's not though. The thing is, my first experience with Turkish delight, I was inspired by this film, and I was like, oh my god, I want some. It looks amazing. And all I got was the Cadbury Turkish delight that comes in those selection boxes at Christmas, because obviously
Yeah,
this is
that's
a
the one I've
Christmas
tried.
movie, and it's disgusting. And then
It's the
colour me
bad
surprised
version.
after years of saying, oh, I hate Turkish delight. Turkish delight's disgusting. Went to Turkey, had actual Turkish delight. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, because we in England, for some reason, we've decided the worst version of Turkish delight is the one we have.
Yeah, and it's
And
not even close. Turkish delight's
Yeah.
so tasty. I actually had some earlier this year because my colleague went to Turkey and brought back Turkish delight, and then his kids were like, "We don't like this," and he was like, "Would you like it?" And I had to be like, "Oh, cool," and like, "Oh, yeah, I'll take that off your hand." I got into it like the same. I looked like a really bad cocaine addict with just corn flour and sugar cut all over me, and white handprints all over my black jeans. Turkish delight.
We decided that the rose one is the only one that you can kind of get here.
But rose Turkish delight is also really nice if it's the proper stuff.
See, I just don't like the flavour of rose in anything. But also, I think for kids, the texture fucking sucks. The texture of Turkish delight is shockingly terrible for kids, because it looks like it should be really soft and
It's so gummy.
yeah, no, it's kind of tough to
It's
chew
claggy.
through. Yeah, it
It's
gets in your face.
I used to have friends who, sometimes for pudding, their parents. I don't know if this. You might be like, yes, Eleanor, that's perfectly normal. But I thought it was a bit strange. Their parents would sometimes just let them eat cubes of jelly.
Huh.
Yeah, I've done that before, but not
Not as
often. Yeah.
Oh, you mean unmade jelly?
Yeah, unmade jelly. Before
Yeah,
you eat
don't make
No,
the
that's
jelly,
fucked.
just straight up.
No,
just
that's
eat the
fucked.
cube.
Yeah.
That's really bad for you.
Okay, so we're
That's
split.
That's like drinking straight cordial.
Yeah.
Mix that shit.
I think I've done it a couple of times.
I think that's kid desperation for something sweet. Did you hear about that experiment
Yeah.
when they were adding sugar to orange juice? So they were experimenting with how much sugar can you add to orange juice before a kid will stop drinking it and say it's too sweet.
Quite a lot. I imagine it's quite a lot.
They had to. There was apparently no upper limit.
Yeah.
No, have you never tried Sunny Delight? Sunny D? It's just all fucking sugar.
Isn't
I think that's the outcome of that test.
Isn't it that thing where sugar, as you grow older, you your receptors to sugar change, so you like it less?
Maybe,
Here's
and
the
I think
thing.
kid brains are very much we need instant carbs and
Yeah.
in energy because we are doing a lot of growing.
But getting back to it, there are better forms of Turkish delight than rose Turkish delight.
Yeah, pistachio.
Pistachio Turkish delight, walnut. Turkish Delight. Fucking amazing.
Orange Turkish
some
Delight
reason.
also pretty good.
Yep. For some reason, we're in England. The kind of main one you can get, and it degrees in varying degrees of quality, is like the shit rose one.
Yeah.
That's somehow both like really difficult. Like, it's not difficult to bite through, but it stays in its shape as you eat it. It's horrible.
Yeah, I remember like eating the chocolate, like the Cadbury one, and the Turkish, like the chocolate just kind of fell off it.
Yeah,
and then I
chocolate
was like
Turkish
left
Delight
with like this essentially
is the
basically like
worst.
this rubber of
Yeah.
Sorry for our
Chocolate-
American audience, a razor. Don't be dirty.
Yep.
Um.
Chocolate Turkish Delight is the worst.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, I
for
remember
me,
that
that's-
being my least favorite. But chocolate covered in desiccated coconut, pretty good.
Yeah, I bet the texture of chocolate and Turkish Delight
We've
don't
been
go
talking
well
about
together.
Turkish Delight for a while.
Look, this guy sells out.
I
his
mean, as
family.
good as
Which-
good Turkish Delight is, I would not sell my family for it.
Which brings us to the ultimate question of this film: what would you sell your family out for? Sweet, what confectionery or like
Okay,
normal
so
food?
I just got back from Barcelona, and in Barcelona there was a vegan donut shop.
Ooh.
And normally, like being vegan, you don't get a great amount of choice when it like for a donut or a sweet thing or whatever. Lots of places it will have their vegan one, and that's the one you have, or maybe two. And then like some supermarkets have some vegan donuts, but it's normally like, do you want jam or do you want plain? And I had a pistachio cream, like a pistachio donut filled with pistachio cream.
Ooh,
And
nice.
I'd sell you guys, let alone my family. Like, fuck it, take my childhood dog.
Take anyone. The Queen's like, I didn't ask for that.
The dog just looks like, oh.
He's like, well, you've made the deal. I know. I don't think there's anything I'd sell.
Oh,
Not because like I like my family so much, but because like, I don't really like stuff. I don't like. I don't have like a super favorite food that I'll have. I just no.
That donut that I had, I had it twice. I had it on like 2
You've
days
been
in a row.
craving it.
And I mean, I haven't since I've had it. There's not been a day where I haven't thought about it. So we're going pretty strong at the moment. Maybe it'll fade with time, but at the moment it's acutely on my mind. I actually tracked it down.
We'll have to work out how to make them.
I tracked them down on Instagram, and they had like a little reel or like clip of their donut, and it was I was like looking at it, and I almost started actually dribbling.
Wow.
So yeah, that's the one for me. I love pistachio flavored things.
It's the best flavor. It is hands down the best. Pistachios on their own are the trickiest thing because you will eat 1,000 of them.
Yeah.
And then feel
same
really
with cashews
ill.
as well. I find I'm just like non-stop on the cashews. Anyway, I'd probably sell my family out for a cream egg.
Really? They're readily available, Dan.
Yeah, no, it depends on the time
You
of year.
don't need to.
So mid
not
August.
Easter.
Mid August.
Yeah, mid-August when you're like, you're a bit far away from them, and you know that the little shitty Halloween ones are still a while
Oh, the
away.
scream eggs.
Yeah.
Are they worse? To be fair, I assumed it was the exact same thing, but they put in green.
Yeah, no, it is the exact same thing. I had a much better idea for a scream egg, which is to make the inside red and carve a little like face on the outside, like a Freddo frog.
That's a lot of effort.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, instead you can just put a bit of green in it.
Green in it. That's like something you want to eat in like a goo form. Green
Also,
goo.
Green.
all these kids will look like they're bleeding out their mouths.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point.
Have you seen a kid eat a cream egg? It is the most disgusting thing in the world.
Yeah. Isn't anyone eat no one can eat a cream egg with grace. They're not designed for that.
Yeah, but at least adults, it mostly ends up in their mouths.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing I would never sell anyone out for is black licorice. It's the fucking worst.
How
thing.
fucking dare you? No, how fucking
I
dare
hate
you?
black licorice.
How dare you? How black licorice is amazing. Black
Would you
is
sell your
great.
family out for black
No,
licorice?
it's good, but I like it's readily available other places.
Okay, so if nothing was okay, so picture this: your house has been bombed. It's been
You've
it's
been
been the
in
war
the
for
war
a few
for a
years,
few
and there's
years.
no sugary snacks at all. You get your
don't do-
sweet allowance, but your mum eats it.
Mm-hmm.
Um.
You're under the impression that I like sugary things, which I don't.
Okay. Do you like creamy things?
Nope.
Do you like buttery things?
No, not really. Not
What do
particularly.
you like? Fresh veg?
Nah, not particularly.
Bread?
I don't like anything. I'm okay with everything.
I feel like if the White Witch turned around and was like, "Oh, I'll give you anything you wish for, and if I can have your family," he's like, "Oh, I'll have a carrot." She'd be like, "What the fuck?"
She'd be like, no. Do something
No,
better.
like, I feel bad. It has to be at least halfway decent for me to steal your family and turn them into statues. I mean, make them kings and servants.
I would irritate the White Witch into just giving.
To be fair,
You've gotta
she's
want
quite
something.
highly strung.
Fine.
I don't think you'd have to work very hard to irritate her.
I'd also be too polite to be like, I want this thing. I'd be like, no, it's fine.
But I can't decide. Can you just, like, choose for me?
She'd be like, I can make you anything. She'd get hot chocolate. I'd be like, can I just have water?
I had a kid come around my house once, and they wanted warm water.
Oh, no, get rid of that.
Like,
Oh.
I was having hot chocolate, and my parents were having tea,
Got
and
to
she wanted
go.
just a cup of warm water, and even my parents were like, "Fuck is this kid?
That
What the fuck have you
child
brought home with you,
has
Eleanor?"
got to go. Not hot water. Just like room temp water.
No, she wanted hot water, as in
Ah.
before you'd added a tea bag. Or
Oh no,
Oh,
that's
at least it was
fine.
boiled. I was imagining just like you turn on the hot.
Yeah,
oh,
that's what
well,
I
that's
was
a dangerous
Feel
game
that.
in my parents' house because their plumbing is old.
But that's what I thought. I thought you meant like she just wanted like tap warm water.
Well, she didn't want it too hot because then she'd burn her mouth.
No,
She was
but
quite
like
specific. She
tea.
wanted hot water with a bit of cold in it.
Yeah, tea level water. That's fine. That's understandable. I thought you meant like
I mean, it's still
warm.
weird.
Warm. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's odd, but like
Especially when hot chocolate's on
Right.
the table.
Yeah, no, this wasn't like it wasn't like how would you like your water, warm, cold, or other.
that's fine. I get.
Or cold or chocolate.
It was
I
like,
get
yeah,
that.
would you like tea, coffee, hot chocolate, squash?
Just
you know,
warm water, please.
we weren't lacking in drink options.
Maybe she was just really polite and was like, I don't want to waste any of that like tea.
Yeah,
Because I'd do that. I'd fully do that.
yeah. So worried about putting someone out.
That she was just, no, I'm fine with just warm water, please. And then she went, if I say that, they'll just put hot water in. Warm water with a bit of cold in, please. Oh, man, anxiety can drive you to do some weird stuff.
Yeah, she was. I don't know if she was anxious. Like she ate tea and everything. Like
Yeah, maybe out of stress.
my parents can be quite stressful. I remember one time my mum decided to make us all have a sit-down fancy meal when three of my friends came over,
That's
And-
awful.
and she cooked like I can't remember. It was like I think we had like fish and boiled new potatoes. It wasn't like super fancy, but she was like, you're all sitting at the table in the dining table, and she made spinach and she grated nutmeg into it and didn't tell anyone. And then my friends were all like, why was there grit in the spinach? But like afterwards, like
I don't
everyone.
know one was allergic to it.
That's such a power move from your mum.
Yeah,
We're gonna
it
have a
was- sit
sit-down
down
meal
meal with
with
all of
the-
it. Oh god, it was so awful.
Did those friends come around again?
Not often.
No.
Dan
I
used to
wonder if they only
have
asked for,
sit down
like,
meals
warm
with
water.
my mum, but me and my mum. But you survived.
At what age? No, that's
Yeah, this was like 9 years
Yeah,
ago. So
yeah, no.
like
what age were the
I
other
remember
family?
it was basically like all my power had gone out and nothing would fix it, so I stayed there.
That's
and I remember I
fine.
had just the fanciest day of meals.
That's like kind of expected. You're gonna meet a house. If I was like 14, 15, went round my friend's house and their mum was like, "We're gonna sit down and have a large meal," I'd be like,
Yeah.
"No."
Yeah, it was super awkward, and
That's such a power move.
yeah,
though.
and it
I
was
wanna do
the
that.
problem was the gritty spinach, and
I'm
like
sure
just
that
forcing
wasn't
my
the
friend,
only
like my
problem.
friends, were, like trying to be polite and eat it.
Yep.
But like nutmeg it's distinctive, I guess, if you're like sniffing something like, oh, that's nutmeg. But if it's in spinach, it's probably not
Yeah,
going to
you
be
know
your first like, oh, this is
No.
gritty because of the nutmeg in it.
Oh, this just hasn't been cleaned.
Yeah.
This hasn't been washed. Yeah, no, I can't think of anything that I'd sell. Not because I like my family
You're
super
just too
amount.
fucking moral.
I just don't care.
Good little
there's nothing.
lion worshipper.
I'm just too awkward to ask for anything nice. I don't want to use
can
up
I
the Queen's
just have
magic.
some warm water, please?
Can I just have
She'd be
a
like,
cold
I'm the
Queen?
ice queen. That is so insulting.
Okay, I'll have a cold glass of water.
Anyway, so he sells out his family and he's like, well, my sister has already been here. She went and met Mr. Tumnus.
Yep, she said a sexy
Yeah.
Sexy
She's like,
for-
oh yes, of course.
oh yes, that to Mr. Tumnus.
Yeah, she's basically just having tea with him again, and they both kind of leave the wardrobe again, and then Edmund kind of like lies about
Yeah,
saying Lucy's still making it up, and then later on they're kind of
'cause he's a
playing
little shit.
outside in the garden, throwing a ball around, and they just smash a window, and then they all run and hide in the wardrobe, and
They're back.
funnily enough, they all end up in Narnia.
Yep.
All 4 of them this time.
And the 2 older kids are like, "Fuck." I
They're
guess
like,
this is true."
bloody hell. Okay.
They're like, this is a bit of fun. Let's have a snowball fight. And Mr. Tumnus's house has been trashed.
And
Yep.
he's probably dead because the Queen found out that he was helping human
Because
children.
he'd sent that note, but then that note obviously hadn't actually made its way to the Queen, and then
Yeah,
Edmund had dropped him in it saying that's where the Lucy was,
Yeah.
and so he's got arrested / killed. It's not clear at that point, and they're like,
Oh,
"Well, fuck me, this is bad." And Susan, the sensible one, was like, "Yeah, we should get out of this place. This is like a war crime, and maybe we should go."
the intelligent one as well because the older kid, John, Ryan,
Peter.
Ryan.
the other biblical
It's
name,
not called
Peter.
the Ryan the Witch in the.
He's like, we should call the police, and Susan just turns around and goes, "The police did this."
Yeah. Yeah, because there's a note on the floor that's like, "Mr. Thomas, you've been arrested by the police,
Yeah.
so like the Queen's Guard police for harbouring a human."
She has brains.
And she's like, "Yeah, we should get out of this place because if harbouring a human is a crime,
Yeah.
being a human is probably also a crime."
Yeah, and then the idiot Peter says,
Uh,
"We call the police." Fucking idiot.
No, you need more voice breaks than that.
"Oh,
We
the
call the
police."
police.
And Lucy's like, "Well, to be fair, I feel pretty bad because
Mhm.
he's being arrested for
She-
looking out for me."
She was the human.
Yeah. And just as they're about to, I don't know, make some sort of decision, some beavers turn up.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Beaver.
And these
And
aren't-
he's like, oh, you're all right, mate. I'm a
Oh.
beaver.
You know, and they're not half beaver, half person like the fawn.
Full beaver.
Oh, that'd be awful.
Full beaver is.
They're full beaver, and they're called Mr. and Mrs. Beaver.
Yeah.
And they live in a beaver house.
But it's quite a
Damn.
nice beaver
Um,
house.
Yeah, and they explain to the kids that actually Aslan is
We-
the real king of Narnia, and he's waiting for them near the stone table, which is the other side of the fucking universe.
Jesus is the real king of. No, Aslan is the real king.
Aslan is the real Jesus.
He's the real lion.
real analogy for Christ.
And there was a prophecy, and then Edmund has disappeared, and he's ran to the witch because he's a little bitch.
He's a little
So
bit. Well, he's like
while
maybe-
they're talking to the beaver, and the beaver's like, "Oh, this has happened. This is." He
A
runs
husband
away,
and wife hate each other.
and he's
kind
like,
of relationship.
"Yeah, the old ball and chain."
The old ball and chain.
There is quite a funny bit actually, where he Peter tries to approach the beaver and is like, "You're a nice beaver. You're a nice little beaver," and the beaver's like, "I do speak, you know."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not
Because-
gonna smell it.
So far,
That
they've
was
only
it.
talked to half human, half animal. So this animal that is like,
Full animal and a witch. Yeah, shithead child runs off
Yeah.
to the queen.
Yeah, and turns out that she wants to kill all the kids to stop the magical prophecy, and the castle is full of statues of people who've been turned to, I'm guessing ice, but they look more like they've been turned to
I
stone.
think it's stone. I think it's a sort of Medusa
Yeah.
kind of
Stone.
reference.
I'm
Yeah.
just gonna say, guys, we got a lot of this film left. We might just have to go through the highlights. Like,
Right, so what happens is, Edmund goes to the witch, and he's like, but I just want to help you. I want more Turkish delight. And she's like, you fucking little shit.
Yep.
And then the wolves hunt the beavers, and then the badger friend gets petrified, and then there's a fox that's like, hey, wolves, they went this way, and then Edmund gets imprisoned, and Mr. Tumnus is a statue, and then they're running across a river to try and get away because they've got to get to where Aslan is.
Yep.
And then they see the sleigh that the queen has, and it's pulled by reindeers, and they're like, oh, fuck. And they run away, and then they hide. And then, lo and behold, it's not the witch, it's Santa
fucking
Claus.
Santa.
It's
in
Chris-
his red
fucking
suit.
Which is a sign
Claus.
that the queen's powers are weakening, and then Santa gives them really inappropriate presents.
For children.
He gives them presents, or aka Chekhov's guns.
Yeah.
Chekhov's
He-
longbow,
he-
dagger, sword,
Health
and...
potion.
He
And health
Health
potion.
opens Chekhov's armory.
It's just like, here, Lucy, have a health potion. Susan, you can be Katniss now, and
Bow.
Peter, here's a fucking sword. There you go, mate. Have that.
Like, that's it. Everyone else gets
There's probably something for Edmund, but he's in prison, so
Everyone else gets shit presents, but the sword guy.
yeah.
Although he implies that the bow doesn't miss, which is fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she gets like a little horn as well, so she'd be like, boop, and then someone will come and help. And then the river's melting, and they need to cross it, and then the reel breaks, and you have to go and start the movie again half an hour earlier.
Yeah. That's a... Yeah. not-
And there's wolves, and they're like,
They talk as
They're-
well. All the animals in
like-
this one talk.
yeah, all the animals are talking, and then there's wolves, and they're worried because all the ice is breaking and melting, and they're by a waterfall. And Peter stabs the floor so that they don't fall in,
Yeah.
and then they
It's dramatic.
think that Lucy's dead or something.
I saw this from like 4 hours ago. I can't even remember this part
Yeah.
of the film. I remember
it would be such cold water as well.
So they get across the river,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
then they meet Aslan,
Yes, the titular line.
and they're like,
from
"Wow,
the title.
he's real." And then like there's a shit ton of other animals, but also kind of there were some humans as well.
Yeah.
Mm,
And then the wolves are like there, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna attack you." And Aslan's like, Peter, fucking stab him!" And he does.
Yep.
He stabs the wolf. He just straight up does a wolf murder.
Yep.
Like without any hesitation.
kills a wolf, doesn't hesitate.
Also, like in terms of like how the animals and that look in this movie, they all look pretty good. But for some reason, Aslan looks really like flat.
Yeah.
In parts,
Aslan looks
like his
terrible.
face especially.
Aslan looks awful.
Yeah, the rest of them, like the beavers and that, they look really cool.
When
Um,
this is gonna be spoiler, when Aslan's dead, he looks fine.
He's a
Yeah,
good
'cause he's
dead,
not moving,
good
yeah.
dead animal.
Yeah, living, he looks
Yeah.
weird. It's like they wanted him to glow,
yeah.
but it made him look kind of flat.
I can't remember how Edmund gets out, but he does, and he comes back and he's like, "Oh, Aslan, mate, I'm sorry. Can I come back in?" And they're like, "Yeah, man, it's cool."
She kind of he's like, "I'm gonna go get them" or something, isn't it? Like some sort of
Yeah.
Yeah,
And she
release
goes,
me,
"Sure."
and she's like, she's like, "I have no use for you," and
Yeah.
releases him instead of killing him.
yeah. And so then in the I think they've swapped him so that they can then get Aslan. I think that's
Oh
what
yeah,
it
yeah,
is.
yeah. Aslan and the White Witch have
Yeah.
a chat, and the chat is
Yeah, they have a meeting. So two of the titular characters, the witch and the lion, have a. I mean, the wardrobe's not there.
They're in the wardrobe currently.
Yeah. So technically, all three titular characters are in this meeting.
Yep.
And then Lucy can't sleep, and she wakes up Susan, and they're like, "Oh, let's go and see where Aslan's going." And then it turns out he got traded for Edmund, and they just cut his hair off and stab
it's a
him.
horrible
Yeah,
scene. Like
like-
she does this. It's very, very satanic. Like it's a ritual. They shave
What?
him, which is obviously a really nasty thing to do to a lion because it makes them look stupid.
What do
Yeah,
you
he looks
mean?
awful.
It's a satanic. The bad guys do a very coded ritual in this very Christian movie.
And it's like
What do
all
you-
the bad like mythical animals. There's like minotaurs and stuff, and
Again, completely ignoring some of the lore, actual like folklore around those creatures. Real dark, real different. One of them does shout when she says like shave him. One of them does shout, "Would you like some milk?" Which really threw me off. One of them, if you go back and watch one of them, I swear one of them says, "Would you like some milk?"
it's so funny.
And I don't know if it was like an earlier line that I missed, but it was really bizarre.
But anyway,
Well,
Aslan is now super
Do you want
duper,
some
totally
milk?
100% dead.
Yep.
He's dead,
He's
but
stabbed.
Peter is like ready to use his sword to lead an army because, like, at this point, Peter has a sword, and so that's the solution to every problem Peter faces.
Yes, Peter is like, well, we've got to fight the White Witch. She's got her army, but we've got ours. Let's go fight. And
they get ready, and the witch's army is just like full of fucked up dudes.
and they had Peter rides a unicorn.
Yeah, and then they have some big birds.
And Edmund
rides
rides a horse called Philip.
Griffins. They're griffins. The flying things are griffins.
Oh yeah, the griffins, and they drop some rocks on the bad guys, and it's like, quite a cool like big army scene. And then
Is it?
after
It felt really sanitized.
it's all right. And
It
then it cuts back, and Susan and Lucy are having a little cry, and they're like, "We've been sitting by this dead lion for fucking
And
ages.
then the
we should
stone
go." And then they
table
turn around, and
cracks.
boom, he's gone.
Was the stone table waiting for them to move so it could crack
It was waiting
safely?
for them to lose their faith.
Yeah,
Duh.
yeah.
Okay.
Or it's they might like get like caught in it.
Well, it's 3 days.
Yeah, it's 3 days. Well, he comes back at so basically Aslan kills the Balrog and comes back as Aslan the White.
Yeah, they are sat
And
there
then
wasting.
they're like, surprise, bitch.
They do waste
Yeah.
a lot. Like, they know.
Guess
the
who made
war's
the
going
table? Aslan's father.
Oh, how?
on.
He doesn't have opposable thumbs.
By the way, his father's name is Asda.
His mother's name was Landline.
That's not how you give kids names, by the way. You don't
It is in Narnia.
mix the parents' names together.
But instead of going to support them, they instead go to the Ice Queen's castle because
To
if
free.
he breathes on the stone people, they'll come back to life.
Yep.
And so they rescue Mr. Tumnus. I think Peter falls off the unicorn, and then there's a rhino and a big
Again,
centaur are going to like fight.
Yeah, and the centaur, who we have no emotional connection to, like, sacrifices himself.
Yeah, I've got
Yeah.
in my notes him written down as Dwayne the Centaur Johnson
it's
because he was fucking wide.
it's implied that the centaur and Peter don't like each other and like didn't get on and butted heads, but that doesn't really exist in the film.
I feel like it probably
No.
was the scene that got cut or something, because,
Yeah,
like, the vibe is
Probably,
there,
yes.
but this film was so long and they must have cut it down.
yeah,
Like, this can't have been the finished product, otherwise it would be shorter.
but it was just weird. Yeah, they fight and then. But Hubert,
Yeah, they
So it's
frost
it's
everyone
a
in the
reference.
castle.
So the stone table cracking is a reference to the tearing of the veil of the Temple of Jerusalem,
sure.
where yeah, it was torn in two.
Like in
Symbolize
Brave.
Jesus successfully atoning for the sins of mankind, and that God and man would no longer be separate.
Oh yeah, like
don't
in
think that
that
happened
movie
in Brave.
Narnia, The Lion, the Witch,
Yeah, they defrost everyone at the witches thing, and then they bring them back to flank the witches' army. And then Edmund destroys her staff that turns them to stone, and then he just gets
She
stabbed.
stabs him with the staff, which is a baller
she's like,
move.
"Fuck
of,
She's
like,
also
oh,
wearing like the
yes.
most epic battle dress. I just want to say, like,
She
the
is.
Yeah.
the costumes are pretty whatever for the most part, but the white, like, they went all out for Tildy.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, they made all essentially the Christian characters very boring people, and then they made all of the villains fucking cool as heck.
Oh yeah, they look amazing.
They're all full
Like,
of
they're so much better than
personality.
CGI beavers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all full of personality, cool as fuck, and then they're like, eh, these are the bad guys. I want to be on the bad guys' side, if I'm honest.
Because you're a Satan worshipper.
Sure.
And not a worshipper of the great lion Aslan, who defeats the witch and eats her face.
So eats her face.
He just eats her face.
Like, you hear this snarl and then literal chomping sounds.
Yeah. And then while he's having a snack, they're like, "Quick, Lucy, use the health potion on Edmund because he's fucking died or something."
Yeah,
'Cause
I
he got
really
stabbed
thought that
by
the
the
health
staff.
potion was going to be how they turned all the stone people back into people, but
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. Not Aslan just going on
Yeah.
them. He's going.
Well, he is.
yeah,
he
very
is
much
defrosting
Catwoman
them.
cat breath.
He is defrosting them though, so it is a bit. Of
It actually took ages. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you do it
Also,
too
Susan
quickly, then the meat goes bad.
yeah.
Don't do it in the microwave.
Susan finally uses her bow and she shoots the little dwarf assistant guy as well.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Lucy heals the
sexist
wounded,
in that
and
way.
Narnia is saved. Yes,
Yeah.
very much so.
So the boys get to do all the cool fighting, and the girls get to do all the cool support character stuff.
Yeah. And then we get to the most realistic bit of the movie, which is that they're all crowned kings and queens, and it's realistic because they're all close relatives.
Mm-hmm.
So
Um,
they'll have a nice pure bloodline.
and they're all very rich kids anyway, and
Yeah,
entitled.
And then Aslan goes for a walk on the beach and disappears or something.
And Lucy starts
And
crying.
then somehow,
You can.
because I think in the terms of the movie, I think all this happens over maybe 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
It's incredibly quick.
And in that time, they completely forget that they're in a fucking magic wardrobe, and then they stay there until they're adults, and they're like, oh, I don't know, I've always been here, I guess.
Well, they don't see. I don't know if they
Like-
they don't. Yeah, that was the thing that was really strange. Is like obviously their decision to stay there. We don't see them make a decision. It's not like everyone's like time to go home now, and they go no. It's more. It just jumps way far into the future. And they're like, oh, and they're hunting, and I want to point out how fucked is it to go hunting in Narnia? Like all the
Good
animals
point,
can
actually.
talk. All the animals are sentient. They're literally riding a horse that can talk and hunting a stag.
It is the Feywild, though.
That's how they hunt, because like the things give their position away a bit easier, because they're like, don't kill
When you
me.
yell out Marco and a stag goes, Polo, shit!
It is the Feywild, though. I'd love this
Yeah.
film if it had like true Feywild chaos evil energy.
Just weird shit.
Just
yeah.
weird shit. Be great.
But maybe like the magic of Narnia made them forget, or the crowns that they put on made them
I
forget.
guess maybe
or...
like the idea, because time passes so differently in Narnia as well. Like, how long
Yeah.
were they actually there that they aged as humans?
Yeah,
They became
'cause
like-
they get to the point where they're like clearly in their like 30s or so. Well, you said Lucy was like 23
and she's
didn't you?
8 at the start,
Yeah.
so they've been there 15 years.
They became
Yeah.
desensitized to the talking animals.
And
Yeah, so much so that they
but
kill
he's
them.
having, he
They
has
are.
a, like Philip the horse talks and is like, I'm getting a bit old for this, but he's got an
Yeah.
American accent. I'm getting a bit
Yeah.
old for no, I can't do an American. That was genuinely awful.
Yeah, it was.
I can't even do horse American.
I mean, they're kings and queens. They're royals at this point. They have no sympathy for anyone.
No, exactly.
They're already rich, spoiled children.
I don't know if they were rich. Or they just
They
knew
were,
rich
like-
and they
They
are
are in
having money.
Narnia.
Yeah, fair.
They were incredibly entitled.
But it's it's so weird how it's like, oh yeah, they clearly have forgotten and they're like, oh, I recognise this place. They come across the lamppost that is at the start
Yeah.
of, well, we know is by the wardrobe because it's
This
not
is
been
where we-
15. It feels like it, but it's not been 15 years for us at this point.
This is
No,
where
it's actually only been about 2.5 hours.
This is where we found that sexy.
Hey, remember that sexy
Yeah,
guy,
he's-
the fawn?
Much more of a bear now.
Yeah, and then they go back through the wardrobe.
Yes,
And
they
they
all
are
fall
children
out of the
again.
titular wardrobe,
And
and the professor's like, "What have you been doing?" And they're like, "You wouldn't believe us if we told you." And then the movie ends.
and he's like,
He's
well,
like, finally.
wouldn't I? And
Wouldn't I?
also, like, but how messed up would it be to go from being like an adult to 23 to 8?
Yeah, that'd be awful.
Yeah, but like,
Especially if they keep all those like memories and like.
20.
Well, I
again,
assume they do because they go back to Narnia.
That's
Yeah.
true. But like 23 in the Fate in like Narnia, like their rules don't apply. You didn't really learn much that's transferable.
But also,
But you still age.
because it-
like
I-
you've still sort of gone through puberty and stuff. I mean, sure,
Gotta do
maybe
it
the only
again.
other humans around are related to you, so yikes. But I mean,
Look,
there's sexy
either
fawns
way-
and stuff.
It's either like
I,
real weird.
how
real
do you
weird, or
think
weird
all
the
of
other
the
way.
half-human animals came to exist?
Nope, it's Christian. That is Christian. Narnia. You don't have sex.
No.
Only when you get married, and they can't marry. Well, actually,
Also, when they go back into Narnia in the second movie, they're kids again, right?
Yeah.
So, like,
So it's not
All
like
that
two
time
different time
has
zones
still
and they jump
passed
through. And
No.
time
No.
because time passes differently. When they go back in Narnia, it's like way in the future each time.
yeah,
They
it's
have
not like they're
guns.
going to risk crossing paths with their, like,
no,
Like
they
selves
didn't.
from
want to
before.
approach
Oh no,
time
it's
travel.
not time travel in that respect.
no, it's just
Yeah.
time works different in Narnia, I guess.
Well, it
Yeah.
goes faster, I think. So when they've been out of the wardrobe for like a good few years, it's been like hundreds of years in Narnia. So like they go back
they go
and
back and
they're
Mr. Tumnus is dead.
myths again, basically.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, Mr. Tumnus. James McAvoy up to other things.
Yeah.
They would be myths because like they all went hunting for a stag and then disappeared. Like they would have very much existed, and then the stories are like, and then they went in the woods and they just
And they
disappeared. No one knows
fucking
where they went.
vanished.
Just gone.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll come back one day. Who knows?
And then they did, and it was bad.
Yes.
So, from memory, guys, because you two watched this when you were children,
Mhm.
does it still hold up? Did we ruin it talking about it?
It's long. It's a bit of a slog now, but I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was cozy. I watched it snuggled up on the sofa, and it was.
So
It's a fine way to spend an afternoon. I think it helps that it's also
full
like cold
afternoon.
and like
Yeah,
miserable. It's good watching weather at the moment. Like
It's cold and Christmassy, and this film has like a cold and Christmassy vibe to it.
yeah, and I definitely
Not a
associate this with this Narnia is definitely on at Christmas.
Yeah, not a Christmas movie,
definitely.
but
It's got a
it's
Santa.
Christmassy vibe. Yeah,
Yeah, Santa's in it.
it's also
yeah.
got Jesus.
It's definitely like it's on TV, but it's definitely on BBC One because they wouldn't put this on with adverts.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that would be your entire day gone.
Yeah.
But
I think it holds up. I think I'd probably give it 7 hunky fawns out of 10. Like there's some glaring weird bits.
Yeah.
But the
It's-
film follows the book, I think, well enough that snotty nosed Helena when she was a kid was like, it's close enough. Yeah, but I just like it. It's pretty to look at. The beavers are quite funny. The child acting isn't that bad.
No, it's awful. I
It's pretty
will
bad.
let you say everything else.
So I think that
Yeah,
Lucy Pevensey is
terrible.
pretty cute. Not in the same way I think James McAvoy's cute. She's genuinely like a very cute little girl.
Yeah. No, she's very much a child.
Another side note, do you know that she was really, really ill not long after these films? And that's why she's not done much acting.
That's
Oh
fair.
no.
That's one of the reasons.
She ended up with
One
like
of the reasons.
really severe bacterial infection and like had to go to
Ow.
rehab and stuff. Like she lost a lot of like
Damn,
like her
that's
health,
sad.
really serious health, and like she's got loads of
That is not
scars
good.
on her arms
Yeah.
from like where the bacteria got into her flesh or something.
Damn.
So like she didn't want to be in films because she was so scarred, and like she insisted on wearing like long sleeves and stuff.
So,
But now she's
That's
kind of
kinda
putting
sad.
herself out there again.
for her. I wasn't having a go at her as about she's a child, like that's fine. The other ones get less of a leeway. They should know better. They should have cast better.
Yeah. Oh, she is. Yeah, she's adorable in these.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the photos now. She's so sweet.
So
The
you'd
others
say
are
8 out of
so
10.
Yeah.
average.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I agree. Like I think it's held up pretty well, but yeah, it's really long. Like going into it, I'd completely forgotten how long this film is.
Yeah.
Like seeing that it was that length, I was like, oh no. But like it didn't really drag. Like it was alright. Like you say, it was nice, just kind of like chill on the sofa.
Yeah, but it
watching
doesn't drag. It's
Um,
more that like I am very done and have no desire to watch this again for like probably another 5-10 years. Like I'm
no,
good.
exactly. Yeah.
I
yeah,
certainly have no
'cause,
desire to watch the other two.
Yeah.
No, I say I only like vaguely remember how they get to Narnia in the second one, and that's literally it. But yeah, I'd probably give this one a 7 as well. 7 out of 10 times Peter's voice breaks per line, he says.
Mm.
But yeah, like it all looks cool. Like the animals and that do all look really cool, like all the CGI and everything as well. But yeah, it's like if it was on telly and there was nothing else on, I'd probably have it on just like.
It's so funny
Or
to
it's doing
think
something
like
else.
that's such like an ingrained thing in us still, even though we've had a decade of on demand,
Yeah,
over a decade.
yeah, it's really weird because every time I like go back to my parents' house for like Christmas or something, and they're like, "Oh, let's just see what's on telly," and I'm like, "You could literally choose and just watch whatever you want to."
There's
My
something
parents
very-
have genuinely watched on TV with ad breaks one, things they own on DVD, but also things that are now available on Netflix and Disney Plus.
There's something very comforting about just having the TV on as a TV, though.
Yes. Oh yeah.
There's
Absolutely.
something very
I still do it.
comforting
I
about
still watch TV sometimes, but I do normally watch TV shows that I wouldn't necessarily be bothered enough to look up. So like, Say Yes to the Dress, Dress to Impress. There's a
all
theme here.
Good shows.
Don't Tell the
great
Bride.
shows.
That kind of, those kind of things.
Amazing show. I want to get onto a tangent about them, but let's not.
Let's not talk about Don't Tell the Bride. How did you feel about this film?
I didn't watch it growing up, and this film kind of skipped me. I don't know why. Probably because it's very slow. It's not a movie for me as a child. I think I tried watching the second one
Ooh.
at one point, and I have vague memories of that. But like, it's a good film. Like, once you get over the terrible, terrible child acting, and like the middle bit is dull.
Yeah. To be fair, it's not great.
It goes to a crawl. After little shit kid runs off to the queen, it's kind of like, okay, now we're just waiting for it to ramp up again. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this film. Like, it's a good film. I know it's a good film. It won like a load of Oscars. It were opened at like the Royal Albert Hall, I think, with the Prince Philip and another royal.
Yay.
Like, it was weird. But yeah, no, I think like 6 cubes of Turkish delight that I'd sell so good I'd sell my family out for.
Delicious.
Out of 10.
To be fair,
Like
it wasn't so much the Turkish delight that I think looked appealing. It was the beautiful, intricate box that she presents it to him in.
Again, a good box wouldn't get me to sell out the film. Wouldn't get me to sell out my family.
Pretty good too.
No, that hot chocolate looked watery as hell.
Yeah, it didn't look great.
It
I'm going to share this with you guys.
Well, yeah, they're not exactly going to get milk in Narnia, are they? That is a traumatic experience for the cows.
I've got to share. This is just a little.
She's gone.
Yeah, she just disappeared.
Wow.
I hope she's still recording, because that's going to be quite funny if so. But
Oh, if her PC crashed.
Oh, no. I mean, we've got backup at least.
Oh dear.
Hello.
Hey, sorry about that.
That's fine. As long as you're still recording.
I'm still recording.
Cool.
It was.
Okay.
I didn't crash. I closed Discord
Nice.
because I'm a professional. I was trying to open the chat box and clicked the X instead because they're next to each other. And I'm not using a mouse. I'm using my not very good trackpad.
Wow, that's fun.
Anyway, what I was going to say is I just want to share this screen grab from the 1988 Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe because it's amazing, and I'll make sure it's on the Discord for when the show's out.
I need to watch that film. Is what I'm learning.
Ooh, wow. I think Matt from Pointless Reinvention really wants to watch that with us if we ever try it.
100%.
That looks
Yeah.
Foily?
interesting. That's definitely just a
Line puppet?
still model, a puppet, and then the witch is in tinfoil.
Yep. It's so obviously tinfoil. I love it. Yeah. Oh, it just cheered me up seeing that. I was like, oh yeah. Like we can really slate on like, okay, some of the CGI and the green screen in this.
No,
It wasn't amazing, but in comparison, like how far we've come in 30 years.
For the time, the makeup and like costume and the CGI was fucking great.
Yeah.
The only time it was bad was at the beginning when they were like when the Blitz kids were being shown off outside the train. It was weird. That was them walking across like a flat green screen. It was strange.
I think there's definitely worse CGI in Prince Caspian because like they do like animated water face stuff.
Absolutely not. Stay away from. They're only just getting hold of water now properly.
Yeah.
With the new Avatar. I can't even imagine water back then.
It doesn't
No.
look great.
No.
Anyway, it could have been worse. The costumes actually, when you see how bad they've been in the past, I'm like, yeah, they reimagined the White Witch a lot better.
Yeah, costumes, makeup, fine. It's great.
Also, Tilda Swinton can do no wrong. So
Well, she's done some stuff wrong. She's done a few things wrong.
But the White Witch wasn't one of them. She's so evil
No,
in it. She's
her
so
acting
fantastically
roles-
evil.
Her acting role's brilliant. She's said some stuff.
Has she? Oh, okay.
And she's done some stuff.
Oh no.
I'll explain after.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that. Anyway, well, I guess with all that, I have been Dan.
I have been Michael.
You always end the podcast like you're so disappointed in us.
I'm not disappointed. I just don't know how else to end the
I'm not-
podcast.
Well,
I
I
was
guess with that
disappointed.
pile of shit,
With
I've
that,
been
I've
Helena.
Well, that episode was fine. There we go. No, I just never know how to end the podcast. So.
You end it like this.
I mean,
Yeah,
we still
that's
got to do all of the
Yeah, no,
after
I know.
stuff.
Yeah, we've got to do the.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
you can find this on Twitter while it still exists, and
For
Instagram
now.
at Hilton Pod.
We've been saying that for a
Yeah.
while, and Twitter is yet to go. So
It's not fallen apart just yet, no. But you know, you just got to be careful.
We might
like-
get banned though, because we've
Yeah.
got a link tree.
Oh no, you're allowed Linktree again now.
Well, for
Because
now.
the
For now.
massive childish billionaire cunt decided that was okay.
Well, no,
so-
the EU said oi, and he went okay.
Yeah, went, oi, you know how you normally just break the law by like having an emerald mine or some shit? Well, you know.
Can't get away with social media
well, if
stuff.
we weren't going to be banned on Twitter before,
No, fuck Elon Musk.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it. Fuck
yeah. Elon Musk, we know
I
you're
think enough
listening.
people are saying-
Fuck you.
him. He might actually, if we say his name enough. He's got an
Yeah.
ego big enough to listen.
Yeah, he will probably listen to this.
Ban us.
But yeah, we're on
He'll-
Patreon as
He's
well.
not. He's not
or on
magic. You
Discord.
can't say Elon Musk 3 times into a podcast and him
No,
appear.
but he'll blame us for tracking him for his real time location, and then ban
Yeah,
us, and then report us to the police and ban us.
We'll all get assassinated, and it'll say that we died in a Tesla crash or something, but none of us drive.
I drive
Do you drive a Tesla?
But not a
in
Tesla.
my dreams.
Okay,
I mean,
I've been in
to
a
be fair,
Tesla
They drive
once.
themselves.
fascinating.
It was an Uber.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, Teslas are probably fine. It's not like he actually has anything to do with them apart from
they
bank
do keep
robbery.
crashing.
Yeah, that is the whole thing.
Patreon.
Anyway, yeah, Elon Musk, give us all your fucking money.
Yes.
No, we're gonna use.
To be
your
fair, if
money.
Elon Musk wants to give us some money on the Patreon, who are we to stop him?
No, I'm
He's
just
not
gonna
gonna
use it
use
for
it.
good stuff.
Like,
Yeah.
Donate it all because fuck him. No, we're gonna build a really nice wardrobe.
That sounds pretty good, actually.
That's it. We're gonna do some
Wholesome.
woodwork.
so is it going to have the
gonna-
story of Narnia on it, or like our story, or
Our story.
Our story?
The story of Jesus Christ.
But us?
But guys,
So
get
I'm like,
this, a
so
lion.
Dan and I are Mary and Joseph,
No.
and you're the baby Jesus.
Actually, it's the story of us, but in the form of lions and witches. That's it. But no, we're just gonna buy some nice wood, some nice timber, make a
good stain,
make a
a nice dark stain, or do you
Yeah.
want it to be modern and light?
no, a nice dark, a nice like traditional big,
Yeah.
like big wardrobe.
Well, it's
Um,
got to hold, about 30 coats and an entire universe. So
a lot
Yeah.
of snow.
At what point do we give up and get an IKEA flat pack?
No, we're gonna make it.
Oh man, have you ever
We're
made
gonna
an
film it.
IKEA
No.
flat pack wardrobe? That is stressful. That is more stressful than going to Narnia for 15 years.
To be fair, if we build a
Takes about as long.
if we do build a wardrobe, we will film ourselves trying to build a wardrobe from scratch. So if you want to see that, like, this is no longer a joke. If you want to see that, donate.
I'm going to make that a one of the
stretch goals.
goals.
We
on
make
the
a
Patreon.
wardrobe.
We build a wardrobe from scratch.
We
The
make a
price of
wardrobe
timber
like in
is
that one
high
episode.
at the moment. Like we need to
Yeah,
do that.
you're
Like
gonna
we
have
can't
to
afford to do
donate
this
a
just
lot.
for fun.
Again, donate a lot of money.
Who gets the wardrobe?
This is the only serious one. We'll cut it into 3.
Oh, like one of those magic wardrobes,
When you said who, wait,
like
when you said
like
who
a
gets
magician's
the,
cabinet.
yeah,
Yeah.
but you know you said who gets the wardrobe.
Yeah.
Don't you mean who is burdened with the wardrobe at the end?
The wardrobe that we use to lure kids into another realm.
No,
No.
no.
Oh no, not again!
We're back here. Always comes back to luring kids into something.
Can send you a picture of my gross bite hand.
Oh yeah, rat hand. Show us the rat hand.
Rat hand.
It was aggressive as well. Like he deliberately bit me. That's why we started talking about chopping his nuts off.
Remind me never to
Ooh,
bite.
that is bad.
And he did that like Friday.
Ooh, that's not good.
Where did you send this? Oh, there. Ooh, that is a bit hand. Are
Do you want my
into a
blood?
doctor?
Yeah, no wonder they said they didn't want to take your blood.
No, seriously, you might actually want to go to a doctor and be like, "Hey, look at this."
Nah, it's fine. It's not infected. It's just irritated constantly because that is a bit of my hand I use a lot. You know, like if I
okay.
hold anything
Right.
and I
yeah,
keep on
yeah,
forgetting
fair.
and picking up things that are like big.
Yeah,
Or
that's fair.
a plastic bag or whatever, and then it slides down, and then I'm like,
That is very fair.
Yeah.
but yeah, it's not
Yeah,
infected. I have had multiple healthcare professionals look at it.
Cool.
I've spent the week surrounded by pharmacists. I can be like, look
So-
at my gross hand. Take me to your homeless people. My job's weird.